Hey everyone. I'm your hot and holy love coach, Raw Chara, and this is the Awaken Love podcast where we keep it real and raw about how to keep your marriage hot and holy. And so we're going to give you some tips and some tools and maybe some toys to make sure that you have everything you need to have a hot and holy marriage. Yep, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about sex and marriage. So let's get to it. Today, I just kind of want to talk to my ladies again. Haven't forgotten about you fellas, but the women have really been on my heart. And I want to talk about us putting so much pressure on the man when it comes to marriage, when it comes to sex and marriage. We seem to put a lot of pressure on the man. What I mean is we get he needs to do this for me. He needs to buy me some flowers. Oh, he needs to take me out, and he needs to amp up the foreplay. It starts well before we get in the bed. He's got to get me excited all during the day. It starts from the time we get up, how he treats me. We have a lot of prerequisites for sex and foreplay when it comes to the man. I don't know if that is because of how time has evolved, because when I think about, my cloud of witnesses and the people before me and creation, they didn't have all of that to put on one another for sex and marriage. There wasn't so many prerequisites. And I haven't found nowhere written in the word where the man had to do a certain thing before. I'm not saying that he shouldn't. I'm not saying that it's not nice. I'm not saying that those behaviors are not reflective of the fruit of the Spirit or showing love. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, why do we make it a requirement that he has to do, so that he has to work for the loving? Yeah, why does he have to work, for the loving? Why does he have to work so hard? Because I thought that sex was a part of the job. Yeah, let's talk about it from that perspective. On that day when we stood at the altar, or wherever you stood when you said I do, and looking all beautiful and gorgeous and things, and you were excited that you were getting into this title and you were going to have this position as wife. That position came with the job description, okay? All positions come with the job description. So while you were saying, I do, yes, I do, it was as equivalent to sitting in the HR office, signing all those very long documents, agreeing to the position description. And when you got married, part of the position description was and is sex. And so that means that you have to be ready to show up for the job. Yep, some days you can take off, some days, just like a regular job, you don't feel like going, but that can't be every day, and it can't always be the excuse, because it's a part of the job. And for like any other job, if you continue to not show up, if you continue to slack off, then there's a job vacancy and an openness for that position. And you don't want to do that in your marriage. When I first got married, I got so tired of hearing, if you don't, somebody else will. If you don't, somebody else will. I got so tired of hearing that until I got the understanding and the revelation that that's the truth. That is 100% the truth, and the truth shall set you free, all right? If you don't, then you leave an open you leave an open slot. You light up the vacancy sign. And so you have to look at sex as a part of the job. And when you got to go to work, you got to go to work. You have to prepare your mind for, this is a part of my description. This is a part of what I'm expected to do. This is a part of what the Lord is rewarding me for, part of what I'm getting paid for. Not so much paid in financial aspect, but it's a part of what God has given you to do. And so first, why would we want to rebel against what God has told us to do? And then second, why do we want to put so much pressure on the man and make him work so hard for it? Once you're in the marriage, I'm not talking about before you get married. Yeah, the courting and all those different things, and courting continues on. But we got to stop putting so much pressure. Talking about he's got to get me here. He's got to do this and he's got to do that. Do we understand and realize that men go through stress and pressure just as much as we do, and that they're tired at the end of the day just like we are, that they have mental struggles just like we do. We're not the only ones. When did the sun start rising and setting on us as a woman? Yes, I'm sorry, all right? But the truth is that we have to live in this relationship, in this marriage, understanding the dichotomy and on both sides. All right, there's two sides to this thing, his side and your side. And so you can get yourself to that place. You ain't always got to wait for him to get you to the place, baby. You can think yourself with. The Bible told me to think on these things, the things that have good rapport, the things that have virtue, the things that think on the good things. Think on the good things and take yourself there. I think myself wet all the time so that by the time he is ready, then we both are already ready. And whatever it is that he adds, because he's going to come adding to it, don't worry. It's just the cherry on the top. But why do I got to start off from the place of park? And then he got to get me all the way into drive and then take me over. No. I want to meet him halfway, because that's what it's about. Unity, togetherness. So stop letting all these different things interrupt and interfere, and stop putting so much pressure on him. And another thing that we absolutely have to do, which I'm going to do a whole nother episode on this one in detail, is unattach your emotions from your vagina, my sister. Unattach your emotions from your girl. You're going to have to. Why? Because, it's he didn't do this. He didn't do that. Oh, he made me mad. If the enemy allows you to see what it is, or only focus on what it is that you see, then are you really walking in the spirit? Because the just shall live by faith, and we walk by faith and not by sight. And we know that the enemy comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy, and he'll do anything to keep us disconnected sexually. Sex has a powerful connection, and the enemy knows that. And as long as he can keep you in your feelings, in your emotions, then no, you'll never want to connect with your man. You'll never want to, but you have to tell the enemy where to go and start thinking on these things. Whoa, he done paid the bills, Lord. I hope he paying the bills. Mine paid the bills. Oh, Lord, he done took care of this. Oh, Lord, he looks so sexy. Oh, Lord, he smells so good. All these different things that you can think on. All right, there's so many amazing and wonderful things that happen within a marriage, that we need to reflect on those things instead of always harping on the issues and the problems, because they're always going to be there, and life is going to continue to life. Okay. And the thing that we have as married couples is we have this wonderful ability and this wonderful opportunity to come together, to release some stress, to take some things off. Did you know that sex relieves headaches? So you can't use that as an excuse anymore. You can't say, I got a headache. I don't understand that concept anyways, but you can go ahead and get some release from that headache. Go ahead and get into bed. All right. So listen, if once you unattach your emotions from your genitals, from your girl, then you can look at it from the point of, I've had a bad day. He's had a bad day. We can get in this bed and we can make it a good night. All right. Because you have that opportunity, and you don't have to wait for him. You don't have to wait for him to always do everything except what it is that he does. When he does it, I'm hoping that he's doing things on a regular basis. And the thing is that if you have problems in this area, not having sex is not going to fix it. You need to get to somebody, a third party, a clinical psychologist, a therapist, or somebody to help you guys navigate through the problems and the issues in the marriage. I'm not telling you to overlook them or to bypass them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying don't allow them to stop you from enjoying your marriage, because they're always going to be there. All right. Listen, that's my time on today. I don't want to keep you on here so much longer. All right. I want to make sure that we are not putting too much stress and too much pressure on the man, because he already has a lot to deal with, just like you already have a lot to deal with. Think about it from that capacity. Think on these things that I just expressed on today, and let's talk about it. Let me know what you think. Leave some feedback. Put it in the chat. Send me an email at awakenlovemm@gmail.com. Follow me on other social media platforms. You can follow me at the Hot and Holy Love Coach. And let's talk about these things, all right? I want to talk about it. So I do want to thank you for joining me on today's tips and tools on how to keep your marriage hot and holy. Let me let you know that you got what it takes to keep it hot and holy. Do what it is that you need to do. Talk to you next time.